Hey guys, Kevin Yates here. Now today I'm going to share with you 3 of my best tips to help eliminate bench press shoulder pain. And these 3 tips will probably help you increase your bench press as well. But real quick, if you've got a serious shoulder injury, if you're coming off a recent surgery, or if you're really restricted with the range of motion you have, hold off on these 3 tips for now until you get everything taken care of and get cleared to start doing bench pressing again. But if you've got any kind of nagging shoulder injuries, particularly when you're doing bench pressing type movements, then these 3 tips should help you out. So here we go. Tip number 1 is using a full range of motion. Now, most fitness experts will, if they don't tell you to completely stay away from bench pressing, they'll probably tell you, and doctors might even tell you this, to limit your range of motion to like 90 degrees or less. So, what it looks like is like you're laying on the bench, and then a lot of people, what they'll do is, they'll be coming down, they're only like right about here or less than this. So it's in an attempt to protect the shoulder from taking too much stress. Here's the problem though. When we think of healthy shoulders, right, we do a lot of rehabilitation exercises are really geared for the rotator cuff, but they're missing a big component. See, the rotator cuff is only part of creating stable, healthy shoulder. The other part is we have to train the muscles in our upper and mid back that attach to our shoulder blades, because the shoulder blades are what help to create a stable shoulder. And if you don't have a completely stable shoulder, then you're going to be likely to get muscle imbalances that create a lot of extra stress to different parts of the shoulder and cause a lot of wear and tear. So we want to really engage those mid and upper back muscles. And the only way we can do it is by getting greater than 90 degrees. Because if you're only here, you can't really fully engage those shoulder blades. So what you want to do is you want to actively retract those shoulder blades, pull them together and pull them down and really keep them tight. That's going to open the shoulders up and lock those shoulders really stable, so boom, you've got a really stable base to push from, all right? And make sure that when you're engaging them, you're pulling them back and down, not up into your head. So that's tip number 1. Tip number 2 is going to sound a little more basic, but it has to do with using dumbbells rather than just using a barbell. I know it sounds basic, but the reason behind it is the bar limits how far you can go into your bench press, because it gets to a contact point with your chest and you can't go any deeper into it. So dumbbells allow you a lot more freedom for range of motion, and they also allow you to travel in a little bit more of a path that might suit you better, right? So tip number 3 has to do with training for strength rather than just training for endurance. Here's what I mean. Most people with shoulder injuries will bench press only with very light weights, and they'll do maybe higher repetition schemes. And one of the problems with this is that when you do lighter loads but you're doing more repetitions, you can create more repetitive stress to the shoulder because you're just doing the same movements over and over and you're doing a lot of them. Right? Now, while endurance is important to train, we don't want to neglect the strength component. Now, the important thing to understand is that if you've got really good range of motion and you're using the right muscles in the right sequence and your technique is solid, then there's no reason that you can't train heavier. And it's important to train heavier because as you start training into the heavier ranges, you're going to activate more muscle fibers. So you've got more muscles working during a movement pattern, which is really going to help improve the strength and the function of your shoulders. All right? So, but this doesn't mean that you got to do 1 rep maxes or do doubles all the time. You can just simply go more into 8 or maybe 6 or 5 rep maxes or something like that. Just a little bit heavier. It's nothing crazy in there. All right. So those are my 3 tips to help eliminate shoulder pain from bench pressing. Now, if you're looking for, you need any kind of exercise tips, you're looking for exercises for certain injuries that you might have that you don't know how to overcome, or you haven't had any success in eliminating them, then do me a favor and leave me a comment here on the blog, or you can even contact me by email here on the blog as well, and I'll do my best to get a future video up and try and help you out. Right? In the meantime, let me know how these tips work for you, and I'll talk to you next time.